Daji, thank you so much for being with us for Peace Day Live.
Thank you. It's my joy, and it makes me very peaceful as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, the first thing I'd like to ask you is, could you tell us about yourself and your journey?
Ah, my journey has been very peaceful so far. Difficulties are always there, but it is, I think, nature has taught me somehow how to interact with these difficulties and learn something from these difficulties and make peace with it. So, and I learned one simple thing, that if you really, really want peace, if you desire peace, then I had to make peace with that desire itself. Then I remain in that state of calmness, peacefulness. Difficulties, I mean, no one can escape. We all have something or the other. Just the difference in nature of difficulties will be there. At every age also, at every little corner, every little moment in our lives, we have either positive or negative things, but it is up to us how to either resonate or be different for it, or just remain indifferent from it. Opposing is better than remaining indifferent. At least there is some active involvement from my side. And I choose to say that difficulties can be a greatest lessons in one's life, and let not any difficulty rattle us. And life has always taught me this. As a student, as a family man, and now in this current position, um, I think challenges are better than all the excitements that you see out of success. So this is a gist of my life.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Why is Peace Day? Why is it so important to you and the movement?
Well, though one wish that the whole world, every species, not only the human beings, but even the non-living entities vibrate, oozing out peace at all levels. It's not just a one-day phenomena, though we do celebrate it to remind ourselves that we can participate in this movement actively, at the same time make this peace that is experimented, make it dynamic in our day-to-day life on an everyday basis. So it is like a reminder. Many people coming together and praying for it, wishing for it, trying to achieve it somehow in some fashion. And I do feel strongly that, when there is this commonality of approach between each one of us, I think the peace becomes possible and becomes easier. Because peace, after all, is an individual phenomena. Even in a family can be at peace only when all members are at peace. Family can be happy when all members are happier. So family can be rich if each member is bringing in richness to the family. Otherwise, one of the members become parasite, then it's a problem. Similarly, in this global world today where it's melting, and we see that there are individuals or communities or nations, they don't like they like to rattle the situation. They like to create troubles all the time. And we fight wars also in order to bring about peace. I think main question that arises today, that should we fight for, should we wage wars for peace? I would say yes, and I would say no. It depends on a situation. But let not anyone take an advantage of you. Like Lord Jesus says that if someone slaps you and offer him next your other cheek.
What is heartfulness and its mission?
Well, heartfulness is all about telling people how to use the heart masterfully, listening to the heart, and developing courage to follow the dictums of your heart. The intuitions are always, there from the heart. Heart keeps guiding us, especially uh, things that can go wrong. You're going to study something. I am going to choose to become a doctor versus should I become an architect or should I become an engineer? But when we meditate and go deep into our heart and listen to the heart, it will give us guidance what to study also, whom to marry, which business to run into, where should I be working, should I compromise or should I not compromise, what should I eat, when should I get up, when should I go to sleep. All these questions are easily, I think, responded by the heart. Heart always gives us the guidance, and especially it speaks louder when we are about to do wrong things. At that time, we need to have some courage. Though the heart says don't do it, most of us don't listen to the heart because of lack of courage and conviction. So, the heartfulness teaches us, somehow, it prepares us to not only listen very clearly, but also to follow the heart's dictum. And I think everything that we do later on also, let's see, if I have to study or if I have to complete some task at the office, heart will never be happy unless you complete that work. Not only complete the work, but heart will be even happier if you did that work in time. And also, if you could overperform. Let us say you expected that I would be finishing this work with such quality, but instead of that, you surpass your expectation and do it much better. I think that gives you more peace. And what is more than a peace? Inner joy. And that's what I think is the promise of heartfulness. Not only to establish peace, but to have joy. And if possible, move further beyond joy into a state which in yoga or in Buddhism they call nirvana or a state of bliss. So we move on from ordinary peace or silence to a deeper level of peace, to joyful state, and then further on to a blissful state. And if possible, even go beyond that. So this is a simple offering of a heartfulness way of practice.
How important is it for individuals to take small actions towards the manifestation of a more peaceful and sustainable world?
Well, stop small. I mean, the small steps are always good. Many people they get scared. Oh, I have to change the whole district or the whole county or the whole country and make them peaceful. It's too big a step. Take small steps. Smaller steps are better. They are guaranteed that you'll keep moving. Bigger steps you may not. For example, many people they get so enthused in the company of people, like-minded people, and say, "Okay, I'm also going to meditate, or I'm also going to study so well." And I sit for 6 hours and study. And some people say, "Oh, I'm going to meditate for 1 hour." Or you make a strong will on 1st of January and say, "I'm going to diet like this, and I'm going to jog like this." Take small step at a time. Promise yourself, I will jog for 5 minutes or I will meditate for 5 minutes. That is possible. But if you say, I'm going to meditate for 1 hour, you might succeed first few days, but then you'll say, oh, to hell with it.
So I wanted to ask you, and I'm only was thinking this in this moment. So, Daaji, I'd love your insight. I personally am concerned, obviously. I've been on a long journey for 25 years. I've filmed a lot of dark things on the planet in about 156 countries or whatever it is. Yeah. I've had some things that I've had to deal with as an individual that were kind of frightening and sad and dark. I look out into the world and I see the destruction of our beautiful planet. I look out into the world and I see the wars and violence seemingly increasing. I look out into the world and I see something, called AI, which may well take away some of our jobs and our livelihoods. I look out into the world and I hear the nuclear word being used much more now. And I say to myself, in terms of the evolution of the human, are we ever going to learn? We can have an intellectual conversation of how it should be, but can we actually practically make the changes in our lives that will manifest the peaceful and sustainable world that we need? And I want to know what your view on that is.
I have always looked for a key to open the great lock that opens up, the treasures of the world, make this planet heavenly. So Lord Jesus doesn't have to say, come to heavens. You're already in heaven then. Is it possible to make heaven here, make harmony, peace with everyone? When we really practically look at myself individually, don't I get confused? Don't I have inner conflicts with myself? Okay. When we extend this individual vision and extrapolate to a family and friend circle or in the business world at office, we have differences of opinions many a times. We have frictions. We have confusions. We have conflicts. Should we consider such conflicts as lack of peace? Or should we consider them as lack of understanding? So, in order to establish, first of all, peace within myself, I have to have good understanding of my own situation. I have to have good understanding of my surroundings to establish peace in the community or in my business world or in the family. So, understanding precedes peace. Now, I can understand the other, but in order to have the mutual peace, the other should understand me too, which is not guaranteed. I can change myself, I can transform myself and adjust, but will the other person do that, or other individual, or the other country do it for? I doubt that. So if I cannot change even my, opinions, the viewpoints of my dearest spouse or of my dearest children, how can I expect to change the view world of somebody else? I can only change myself. And all these efforts to change others is going to only create more destructive world. So yoga is all about individual transformation, one at a time. When we talk of yoga, I'm not talking of these yogasanas and breathing exercise, and that is too primary, that is too basic. When I talk of meditation, is to go deep within, diving deep within your heart and feel that, experience the voice of your heart, the intuition that bubbles in your heart, and then take it forward and make that feeling a dynamic feeling in my actions, in my business world, at my work. If I have the peace in my heart and I don't make it dynamic, if that fragrance of the peace is not going out of me, then what is the use of such a peace? And I communicate with individuals. Does my speech hurt others? When I have a certain body language, is it respecting others or is it avoiding others? So things like that. So I think expecting the world to change through politics, by signing treaties, it can bring about some level of, I think, lack of war, perhaps. But the lack of war does not mean that the countries have attained peace. Political freedom does not mean that each individual has attained freedom. Like India today. India got freedom from Britishers in 1947. It's a political freedom. United States got freedom sometime in last century or even previous one. But are all Americans free today? Are all Indians free today? Though we have attained political freedom. I doubt it. Because as long as this is lacking, understanding is lacking, peace is lacking, how can you have individual freedom? So we are gradually moving higher. Our expectations of a better world are increasing little by little, as we fulfill our smaller goals. Let's say you become peaceful. What next? You became joyful. What next? You became blissful. What next? That is evolution.
Yeah, Daji. Yeah. Okay, that's a very interesting answer, and thank you. And
Thank
so
you.
I think what I've understood from that is that in order for us to find world peace, that we first need to find it within ourselves in order to attain something that's truly global. And that will require each and every one of us to participate in a journey, a personal journey, to find inner peace, correct?
Absolutely. There is no other way. My wife can be at peace, but if I am not at peace, what is the use?
Yeah.
Yeah. And my master used to say, a very beautiful thing, that if your father was a king and you're a beggar, it would have been better if your father was a beggar and you're a king now. So if somebody has a lot of, calmness, peace, comfort, it's for that person. What if I'm not? I have to earn that. I have to make efforts to arrive at that level. So, and my peace cannot bring about peace in others. So everyone, each individual has to have a peaceful heart. Only then there will be, incremental peace at a global level.
Wonderful. Well, I know that you dedicated your life to helping others find that inner peace. And of course, the Heartfulness movement and organization is very much doing that on a completely global scale. So we wish you the very best in your endeavors, your work, your mission. But before we go, I must tell you, if people want to support Heartfulness and find out more, where do they go?
Well, we have Heartfulness app. They can download it and follow the steps on how to meditate. But primary goal is to have this inner peace. And when you have inner peace, all of the things drop off naturally.
Okay.
So download that app, and I must say that it's all for free. There is not even a dime being charged for this kind of a thing. But if people like to contribute towards this and donate it, it's up to them. It's individual choice. But we don't demand for such services.
Amazing. Well, it's been an absolute, real privilege and a real honor to be in your company and to feel your peace, and to be able to talk to you is genuinely very, very special for me. And I thank you for the support that you give of Peace One Day and Peace Day, most importantly. And I just really wish you well in your journey.
Thank you for meeting again, and looking forward to another session with you. May it be blessed. Thank you.